then it's a different ballgame.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, the whole legacy around Word Society, Word of Mouth Wednesdays, LB is paying it forward. You know what I'm saying? And really, really being community driven. Because at the end of the day, I have 3 little people coming after me. You know what I mean? Who I have to have something to leave them with.
Absolutely. Once again, thank y'all for listening to another Bliss Talk Quarantine Edition, where we like to build, learn, inspire, collaborate, and share keys with some of our go-getters in the community. Tonight we have LB the Poet. I just had to come out and come back in. He was having some issues with sending the request. So tonight we're going to talk about, I want to talk about legacy with him. I want to talk about the communities that he's been able to actively reach by going steady with his craft and purpose. Hey guys, hey. I want to talk about financial freedom tonight as well. I don't think that we can ever have enough conversations about financial freedom.
Peace. Let me wipe my camera off real quick.
Now?
Yeah, peace. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I was saying I'm exhausted. I'm doing as good as I can be during quarantine and everything going on in the world.
Yeah.
And, trying to make sense of all of this. I'm done trying to make sense of it. What is it going to take? What are we going to do? Seeing our brothers and sisters like shot down.
Yeah. It's a tough situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one thing that I honestly feel that we should kind of work on as a community, as a people, is I'm all for getting the word out and spreading the word on what's going on, and it's great that we can see it, that we can visibly see it.
Mm-hmm.
But the sharing of the murder of that man
mm-hmm.
is traumatizing to some people. You know what I mean? A lot of us have PTSD and don't even realize it because of the things that we've been through.
Yeah.
So it's like, as I said, I get sharing, like, if anything, share a picture, share an image. Don't share stuff that with his knee in his neck. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like that's a starting point. Now, as far as the community and you know what I mean, us really grabbing a hold of what's going on there, I was just talking to my mother about it, like, at the end of the day, a lot of people forget that the police officers work for us, government officials, but we give them this pedestal when really they are equal, if not a little, not less than, but they work for us. They're here for our security. I mean, so it's disturbing,
I'm very disturbing.
With locks and tattoos. I have a 5-year-old son that I'm raising and a couple daughters. You know what I'm saying? It's a difficult thing to have to think about.
Right.
And him growing up in this world, even my daughter's growing up in this world, to have to deal with this, or you know what I mean, being the type of person that I am and being in the community the way that I am. Everybody doesn't look at that in a positive light.
Right.
So it's tough. Like, it's crazy. It's tough. You know what I'm saying? And we just kind of maneuver through it because as artists, as artivists, it's our responsibility to put it on the forefront. You know what I mean?
Right.
and let people know what's really going on. But I feel like that's my duty. Like, if I'm not out here spreading a word about what's going on directly in the community, I'm not doing my job.
Educating on people, because one of the things I've been seeing is people saying a lot of things that come off very ignorant, and you don't know how to react to it. I think some people react to the ignorance with rage because they are tired. We are tired of talking about this, but also I normally don't, feed or have time to comment on certain things that I see on Facebook, but today I had time. Today I had a little bit of time because I feel like people do not understand that we've been having this conversation about police brutality for years, centuries, even, so we have to understand that the reason that we're outraged is because nobody's making much effort to make change. As far as the law is concerned, there's a lot of laws out there that are made to protect the police officer. It makes it so that it's really hard to prosecute them because these laws protect them in the event that they murder or injure someone.
They're in the biggest gang in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Police department, they are the biggest gang in the streets. And it's sickening to know that they have that to stand behind. But I've also, I myself, I know police chiefs, sheriffs, SWAT team members, because I rub elbows with these people, it's necessary for us to rub elbows with these people and really let them know what's going on the ground. Mm-hmm. It's I get the whole F-12 statement because of what's going on with the Bad Batch, but it's just like with us as a people, we don't want one person to dictate how they look at all of us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we can't do that because I know police officers personally who got behind that badge for this purpose exactly.
Right.
Stop stuff like this that's going on. So we're in a very sensitive time, and as I said, people are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm all for rioting. You know what I mean? I'm more Malcolm than Martin first. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand the looting.
I don't understand the looting.
I don't understand destroying where you live, destroying where you're going to have to still be. Like, they destroyed the schools. Like, how do you destroy the schools in your community? So it's two folds to it. It is. It's one fold of destroy and steal all of the books and take all of the weights out of Planet Fitness. You know what I mean? Like, all of that. Mm-hmm. And it's ignorance. And then the other side of it is, okay, well, if I destroy the whole community and the higher ups are the ones who won't prosecute this man, then they're going to have to pay to rebuild all of this. All of this money that y'all are paying is on the hands of this man and what he did. So it's two folds to it. But for me, I still don't understand the ignorant side of it, of stealing weights out of a gym or breaking into a school and, you know what I mean, burning down the auto parts store. Like, I get it because it's a statement being made. So I understand it.
Right.
But it's one of those where it's just like, come on, yo, we got to do it in a better way. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing that I noticed is the police weren't anywhere but in front of the police station and in front of the officer's house to protect him. They weren't anywhere else.
Right.
When they were in the streets and you watch the videos of them being there and then they can't grab control, so they leave. If not, where's the protecting and the serving?
Right. Exactly. I think I wanted to make a comment on the fact that there are good officers out there, and I feel like a lot of times we have to say that when we're doing our messaging. This is not against the people who are doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I think that we need to find out, how do we make changes with these laws? These laws that are set in stone, they've been set in stone for God knows how long. We try to vote. We try to get out there and vote and get
Exactly.
somebody that's going to try to change it. But why is that not? I mean, what else do we need to do? You know,
Yeah,
can't go on like this for too much longer. And then we're depending on these people, the higher ups, you know, to organize.
Mm-hmm.
And so do what you need, do what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be organizing. This is chaos right now, you know, because like you said, we have so many different sides of the spectrum. We have, you know, the looting, we have the rioting, we have people who are on a more like a Martin Luther King, you know, type stance of it. And so we don't know what to do. So we're going to do whatever, you know, we think we should be doing at the time. We just taking action right now.
Yeah, and it's but action without organization is what?
Right.
It's you know what I'm saying? It's chaos.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like when you look at like on a community level and you want to see change directly in what's going on in your home directly where you live.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing we worry about voting for is the president.
Right.
We ain't going out and voting for these council members and really getting to know who they are, rubbing elbows with them. Yeah, like for me, it's different when you can say that you do something and that you're for a cause. But one thing that I realize with our people is we're on it as long as the trend lasts.
Trend. Speak that. We need to talk about this. I hate it to start the conversation out like this, but LB, I'm exhausted. I'm tired of seeing this stuff. I'm gonna speak to the people who have joined us tonight. Thank you so much for joining Bliss Talk. I got my man LB the poet.
Peace.
We opened up the conversation because we had to get this off of our chest about some of the things that we've been seeing going on in our community. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing actually started and ask you some Bliss Talk questions.
Got you.
First of all, can we talk about legacy versus fame? Because when I look at you, and I did my research today on your page, I'm just looking at you like this man is going to have a legacy, okay? And that's very different from fame. So I wanted to get your perspective on that and kind of talk through it so that we have a better idea of what our purpose is. Because the purpose is not to get like 5 million followers. It's deeper than that. Would you agree?
It's so much bigger than that. Where do I start? I want to be able to not only open the doors for the ones that's coming after me, but to lay a foundation and a blueprint to where it's really a situation where like you can inspire people without knowing that you're inspiring them. You can, off of being conscious about your movements and what you put out into the universe, you can change someone's life. You can alter the trajectory of a child's life by what you put out, not realizing that they're looking up to you. So for me, when it comes to, I don't care about fame. Now, a lot of people, like I know a lot of people, like but that's because I love the exchange of energy. I love getting to know someone, what they're passionate about, what they love, what they want to do, what their visions are. You know what I mean? Like, I know you do this for work, but what's your dreams? When you get off work and you go home, what do you think about? How can we get you doing that so you love what you're doing and you're not working? You know what I mean? So it's just, I operate off of a tribe mentality. And that's helping the ones around me to get to where they want to be, paying it forward without the expectation of receiving. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, I read a book called The Go-Giver. It's probably one of my favorite books. And in the book, they talk about how if I do something for you and the expectation of you doing something in return later on, I'll become your creditor. Now our relationship changes. Right. And at times we do things off of, I'm going to do this for you now, so you do something for me later. And the expectation of that. When you do something just to genuinely help someone to move forward.
Right.
Without, okay, I want them to come back and jump on this, or I need you to come do this, or I need you to. Nah, I just want to see you make it. I genuinely want to see you go to that next place.
Right.
And I understand that me as a person, my purpose is to speak life into others, to speak life into my people. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's in poetry, through conversation, education, teaching the kids. Like, my purpose is to speak life and to help people see what the possibilities are, because it's endless. Like, I literally started with a vision of, okay, I love poetry. My principal in the 6th grade gave me poetry, and this is what I want to do with my life. This is what my life is. I understood that from that point on, that I was supposed to speak life. I just didn't know how it was going to come, but I was dedicated to me. When I taught people, yeah, I'm going to do this with poetry. Yeah, I'm going to create an event, and it's going to be Deaf Poetry Jam 10.0, like the vision of what I want. It's going to be a business highway. Everybody in there is going to make money and get booked for this and step off to do this and other shows. And that's exactly what the Word of Mouth Wednesday experience is. And it's like, when I first was saying it, people couldn't see it. I ain't going to say everybody, but the majority, when you say poetry, they think roses are red, violets are blue.
Yeah.
You know, and then you hit them with something else, or they come out and check out Word Society, and they get punched in their chest a bunch of times, and they feel different when they get in the car. Then it's a different ballgame. Right. You know what I'm saying? So for me, the whole legacy around Word Society, Word of Mouth Wednesdays, LB is paying it forward. You know what I'm saying? And really, really being community driven. Because at the end of the day, I have 3 little people coming after me. You know what I mean? Who I have to have something to leave them with.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, if it's up to me, like, they can work, but they'll have their own businesses to run that'll be their work. You see what I'm saying? I don't want them to grow up thinking I'm gonna get a 9 to 5. Nah, we're gonna create. My son is currently working on his business. My daughter, Lyric, she has a couple ideas, but she songwrites and dances and does all that stuff. So it's like, for me, I'm putting into their mind, Daddy is an entrepreneur. I'm an artist full time, and we create other bounds. My wife is an entrepreneur as well. Yeah? And so it's one of those where they see it, and they see that it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, this year is my 2nd year in the school system, but I created a curriculum based around my poetry and how I write, how I break things down. And this is my 2nd year in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County school system. And it's something, again, off of, I have an idea, I want to create this, now let me implement it and get it out there. And it happened. I'm not going to say it came easy, but I don't believe in luck. I believe opportunity meets preparation. I'm always prepared for the opportunity.
There you go. That's a bar. That's a bar right there.
Love.
To make a comment, because I think that legacy is something worth pursuing, because that's something that you can pass down to your children, and not even your children, but to the world. After you go and you speak life, like you said, your purpose was speaking life into people. You know, they can take that with them. You know, I had this person here who spoke life into me, so I'm going to do the same, you know? And so that energy is going to live on way after you do, you know? And so that's why I think that that's something that people should really think about pursuing, you know? Pass it down, because the world that we're living in right now is a hot mess. It's a hot mess.
But
when you really think about it.
But it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it is a beautiful place. But there has to be some changes. And I was talking to Tyrissa yesterday, and we're now the adults, you know? We're the ones that is responsible for keeping order now, you
Yeah.
know. So we have to really make some conscious decisions when we're thinking about creating our legacy. You know, that's
Yeah.
why I really wanted to touch on that tonight. My next thing I wanted to talk to you about was I want you to talk about the communities that you're actively reaching, and then the message that you want to be received. You know.
My main focus here lately has been my hometown, Winston-Salem, of course. But I'm also heavy in Greensboro, Guilford County area. We've been out in Danville, in your area, Burlington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, locally, that's kind of been my focus. But of course, prior to coronavirus, we had a tour set up, and we're gonna take this thing couple states out.
Mm.
But yeah, it's for me. It's a lot of people want to go elsewhere and make a change. You know what I mean, and be this pillar in the community somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to really start at home. Because it's sickening when you go to some of these places or you talk to some of these students and they have no ambitions, they have no desires, they don't want to do, they don't know where they're headed, they just living for the day and planning. So me, like I really wanted to start here. Like we've lost young men and women to gun violence. We've lost my bad. I think somebody saw it and decided to call me. Pardon me, but we've lost young men and women to addiction. And for me, like you said, we're now the adults. You know what I mean? Generation right before us technically raised, or you know what I mean? What is it, like 2 generations before us raised the generation that's coming right after us?
Right.
But it's like we still have to have our hands on with them and the generations coming after them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So as an educator, like I work with students from 3rd grade through college.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I touch a little bit of everybody and the adults. When it comes to these kids, man, like you have to leave an imprint. You know how it feels to see the confidence, the magnitude of the confidence of a child change from learning how to write a poem or learning how to express themselves. Right. I tell administrators all the time, if you get 3rd or 4th or 5th grader comfortable in a room full of people, you'll alter the trajectory of their life, because now they don't mind standing in front of people and expressing themselves.
Exactly.
That's power. It's power. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I choose to start here, but I'm working on a couple things. I don't. My wife, shout out to LB. She really helped me to learn to not prematurely announce things when they're in the workings, because I was one of those where I get excited about stuff, full of energy. Always want to. Yeah, guess what's coming up, and this is coming out, and but it's not always ready. You know what I'm saying? So now I sit back and I'm working, like we'll discuss. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm working on some things that'll really take it up a notch. National, as T would say, we're gonna kick it up a notch. Yeah. You know
I wanted to talk about that because I want some of our listeners to know, you know, the ways that you are impacting the community, and it can give us some ideas on how we can all do something, you know, get on that highway, as you would say.
Man, look, create. Don't be afraid to create, and don't stop at your 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th no. You know what I'm saying? People tell you no if they don't everybody's not going to see your vision, but it's not for them. So they're going to tell you no until, for instance, my older brother, like he's one of my, like I look up to him on a business level more than anybody in this world. You know what I mean? Just because I understand the intricacies of his mind. But he's one of those type people where he needs to see the workings happening before he can see the vision develop.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I see them. We wait. You know what I'm saying? I get there. I don't know. That's for, you know what I mean? That's why my wife and I work so well, because she helps me to develop the steps. You know what I'm saying? But I'm the dreamer. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? I realize when it comes to manifesting, the thing that kind of yanks you back down is when you think about the how.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just move.
Ooh.
Move. Understand it's just going to come.
I like that. When you start to think about the how, it'll bring that dream, you know, down. It puts some gravity on that thing. We don't need gravity right now.
Oh, I want to be out of there. Like, so one thing that I've always, like, I think when I was probably 8th grade, I thought of this. I'm like, so if they tell you that knowledge is power, right?
Mm-hmm.
So knowledge is power, and knowledge is infinite. You can never learn too much.
Mm-hmm.
Power is infinite.
Mm.
Turns you to a dangerous individual when you learn that you don't have to learn from someone else to learn. You don't have to take the teachings of someone standing in front of you and taking notes to open up a book.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? So
I can make a comment on that, because, you know, so many times we rely on other people's research, and we put their research on a pedestal without going out there and look ourselves. Like,
check it out.
Tell us that we found a dinosaur, but let me go look myself to see if that dinosaur actually was there.
So will you go look first, or will you go tell somebody, hey, yo, my people found a dinosaur, yo?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's how information gets spread. Like, and it's crazy, but look at how, now don't get me wrong, because a lot of churches now, they have Bible studies and different things, but, you know, back in the day, a lot of people took the pastor's word for what it was and they ran with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those where if you're not really dissecting and taking the time to study for yourself, I don't care what your religion is, what your belief system is, if you're not studying for yourself to gain that knowledge and comprehension, what are you really doing?
Right. And let's not forget that, you know, we have to be mindful when we hear people talk like very articulate and using big words. And so we're like, oh, he's smart. He's got to know what he's talking about.
That don't always mean.
No, not really.
That don't always
that don't mean nothing.
Oh, Mama Love say they still do. Oh, the word of the pet. You know what I mean? But it's, and I not to cut our conversation, like I completely been missing all the comments because I've been
let's say what's up to the people real quick. Yeah. We got Miss Lavinia in the building. She's giving us hugs and loves. Yes. Where you are planted, say it again. Just to recap on our conversation, we started out a conversation, you know, just having a conversation about what's going on in the world and passing along our thoughts on just small things that we could be doing as far as getting out here and really paying attention to who's running the community. And not so much on the federal level, but who's running the community. We also talked about reaching out to the community actively, as LB the poet is. He said his purpose is to spread light or speak life into others. And so I wanted to touch base with him on that, just to give us some ideas on how we should go about leaving a legacy, if that makes sense. But that's just a recap, and it looks like Fernanda's talking about oftentimes it's blind leading the blind. Woo! That's the word.
Yeah, that's the word.
The word.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also one of those where, like, for me as an educator, I got to make sure I'm on my P's and Q's before I go out here and try to educate someone about something. You know what I mean? Yeah. The blind leading the blind statement is that's power there. You know what I mean? and it's something that we don't really. I ain't gonna say we don't take into consideration, but again, like how many times are you sitting in a circle or think about barbershop talk? How many kids sit in the barbershop and hear the barbershop fact that gets spoken and they take that and run with it?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we're not conscious of what we're spreading or what we're saying around the ones younger, the ones after. Yeah, I mean, just consciously thinking about what you're speaking and being conscious about your thoughts, because it starts up here.
It's that game of telephone.
You're gonna manifest everything. You're gonna manifest your thoughts. You're gonna manifest your words. If you believe it enough, it's gonna pop up. You know what I mean? So you got to be conscious about what you're putting out into the universe. You know what I mean? I operate off of my mantra, every day is Wednesday. Every WINSDAY. You win every single day. You're able to open your eyes and make the statement. You know what I'm saying?
I love that, by the way.
That is a bonus. So how are you going to accept your win? How are you going to push your win to the next level? How are you going to help someone else to reach their win because they may not see it yet? They don't understand. You opened your eyes. You won. What are you complaining about? You're able to take a step. What are you complaining about? You know what I mean? Like, I really start to learn different. I started to appreciate different aspects of life. You know what I mean? Like, you go through different things and you learn to appreciate the small stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, being able to walk around without feeling pain in any part of your body.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people take advantage of that until every step it feel like somebody's stabbing you in your foot, and you only wish to get back to feeling. You know what I mean? So it's like we got to learn to appreciate the now.
Lessons. Mm-hmm.
Learn to plan for the next, but also be present in the present, or be the present that's in the present.
Facts.
I mean, be the gift for someone else. Spread the love. Help someone else to see their win. You know what I mean? Solution, not the problem. Like, I'm one of those. Mama Love says, stay grateful. Exactly. Like
the Bliss talk that we had together last time, we talked about gratitude. And it's something that about gratitude that gets you to that next tier, that gets you to that next frequency. If you can appreciate all that you have now and be happy, happiness attracts happiness, you know?
Yeah. And people don't understand. Like, I mean, I understand, but it used to be why are you so happy? Because I've been depressed. I've been one of those that when I didn't really understand that I was manifesting everything that I was thinking, and I didn't really know, like, why is everything going like this? Like, what? But I was the one that was doing it.
Yeah.
And when I started really understanding that, I'll give you a cheat. I stay out of depression by speaking life into someone else.
Ooh. I can dig that.
That's the key.
I can dig
the absolute key.
Yeah.
Stay out of, because I haven't battled it in probably 5 years now. You know what I mean? It's been but I've also been transitioning. I dropped an album called Transitions. If you have not heard it, go check it. I talk about my transitions and what I go through. But I've been transitioning into understanding what manifestation really is and what a tribe.
You froze a little bit.
I started understanding what manifestation really is, and it changed my life. You know what I mean? Started learning to really appreciate.
I wanted to make a comment because you said that people ask you, why are you so happy? And you're like, it's because I've been depressed. And so you have firsthand knowledge of what it is to be down. And then you started making that conscious decision to be happy and to manifest, and you notice the difference, you know? So you got to see the actual progress or the actual outcome of manifesting and being a happier person, you
Yeah,
know.
it's crazy though, and I'm gonna be real, and I shout her out all the time. Like a lot of people might think I'm like overly, but shout out to my wife again, because we're 8 days apart, so she knows better than anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it got to a point to where she could see when that monkey would jump my back, and she would call it out, and it would make me consciously think about it, and I'm out of there. You know
That's what your queen is supposed to do, though. That's queen talk right there.
You know what I'm saying? But it's, think about how many people battle it without letting, think about how many people are uncomfortable allowing someone else in to know what they're really dealing with.
Ooh.
Instead of building them up, they're silently tearing them down because they don't know what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's, hey, look.
It's being aware, becoming aware of what story you're telling yourself at the first step.
What's up?
But also being aware that your queen is not there to bring you down. She's not your enemy. And so when she's tapping your shoulder like, hey, I see that monkey, let me get that out of there. And you know, and you acknowledging that, you know what? She's from a different perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where it's like I appreciate her being, because she was strong enough to deal with the spirals, because at first she didn't know what was going on when I was spiral, when I would snap out, not really snap out, but get quiet and then nothing's wrong, but something's really wrong, and I don't know how to explain it. You know what I'm saying? And
it takes a strong queen to do that and have courage to be able to talk to your man about those things.
The world.
Yeah.
Straight like it. For me, my star player is beside me at night. You know what I'm saying? And I truly understand. Like, yeah, I was LB because I was born LB. I'm a die LB. But she's helped to mold me into something that I wouldn't have been otherwise. Yeah. And I respect her. I hold her on a pedestal, and I let the world know, like, I'm me because we're we. You know what I mean?
That's something that we aspire. I saw this meme that says the goal is to have two hustlers, not a hustler and a leech.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's beautiful that you have someone that sees you, that really sees you, you know? I want to move on to our next. We've been going on here, and I still got a couple more questions.
Let's go.
So let's get it. I wanted to touch on financial freedom with you tonight, because I feel like we can never stop having enough conversations about financial freedom. It's got to be top of mind. It's got to be something that we're pursuing, you know?
Yeah.
After talking with T. Walker, being amongst and talking to different entrepreneurs every day on the Bliss Talk, you know, it's got me really thinking about ways that I can create, you know, financial freedom, getting multiple incomes, putting my eggs in different baskets so that they may not make a lot of money on their own, but all of that together,
collectively,
combined,
it's gonna make a bag.
It's gonna make a bag.
Man, look. I tell people, that's just like, shout out to one of my schools, Winston Street School, in Sea Lion. I started a program this year called Fear Academy, Future Entrepreneurs Activating Reality. And they're giving the opportunity for me to help these students develop a business plan, and at the end of it, we give them seed support to either start their start their business, or we'll give them the seed support to go get a certificate or do their certificate training to move forward. For me, financial freedom.
On the mic, because I can barely hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Yeah. I was saying, for me, financial freedom, it starts with tearing down the barriers that we've been taught as children and as young people. You know what I mean? The biggest barrier for a lot of us is based around finances, as in not believing that we can have because we've gone so long without. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, how do you encourage someone enough to, like, everybody got an aunt or a mom that got this banging chicken, or, you know what I mean, this cornbread that it melt in your mouth and somebody gonna go crazy. Or why ain't nobody encourage them to bag it up and sell it? Or you got your aunt to make that 5-flavor pound cake that can't nobody else make, and you beg for it twice a year and she only make it at one time. It's like, why ain't nobody ever encouraged her to box it up? We all put into a pot and go into it together, and that's her business, but we helped her get it. You know what I'm saying? The problem is a lot of us have come into it like, look, I'm going to give you this, and it's not even really going to help you out that much, but I need 25% of your business on the back end.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we really expect for people to give their business up like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's really one of those where it's like, yo, like, why can't you just help? Or why do we feel like we can't pass the knowledge on to the next person to help them reach a place that it took us so long to reach? Right. There's so many OGs out here who only give a little bit of the knowledge and wonder why. I understand it. We just answered it. If they only give you a little bit, you always have to keep coming back for more.
More. That's real.
So they always have the step above. You see what I'm saying?
You're making a whole lot of sense, because I wanted to make a comment about the knowledge portion of it. Because I think the reason why we're not starting or wanting to get involved with creating our own businesses, our own wealth, is because we think there's so much red tape on it.
Yeah.
We think, how am I supposed to do that? What's the legalities of it? Where am I supposed to start? You know? Mm-hmm. And I think that with us having conversations like this, letting people know you got to take that red tape off of your brain, you know? That red tape, it's not something that's really there. That's something that you put in your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's like, for instance, I love my mother to death. I watched my mother work at Walmart for 19 years. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Store, like, manager, CSM, like, did all of the joints at Walmart.
Right.
And my whole thing, like, my brother retired my mom, got her out of work. She now is living. But my biggest thing with that was I watched you work 19 years only for you to leave and your spot was replaced the next day. Mm. It's not like you had stock in a company. It's not like you would, you know what I mean? Like, we're taught to go to school, get in debt for going to school, work a job for somebody else to pay the debt off, get a mortgage that's going to last you for your whole life, that you'll be paying that off. Right. So you're always constantly paying somebody else.
Right.
When do we own something?
When do we own something?
When do we get the investments? When do we get the, you know what I mean? When do we really start understanding that, yo, don't you know it's foreclosed homes out here that you get for $5,000, put $10,000 in it, and then start renting it out to people and start making you a monthly? It's so simple, but we don't know. We don't know about the different loans and different things that are available through government assistance. You know what I mean? Like, but if you don't have a grant writer on your team, you slipping. If you don't have somebody looking for grants on your team, you slipping. What are we doing? How do you tell you, like, really, when all this money came out with the stimulus checks and all of that, and you got, what was that? Roof Chris got a $20 million grant that they end up giving back? But they got a $20 million grant as a small business loan. How many small businesses within Winston, High Point, Greensboro, and Charlotte could have split up $20 million to really make their businesses last and keep going? You know what I mean? Like, it's, we don't own nothing. We don't have generational wealth. We own shoes.
We own shoes.
And belts.
That is so true.
Don't get me wrong, like, because when I was 18, 19, I had hundreds of hats and jeans, and I was that person. You know what I mean? I done been there. We all done been there. It's like you get to a point where it's like, why we not buying? Y'all don't ever ride past different places and you see the for sale signs on the land. Why we not calling them numbers to see how much that land is and just buy it and sit on it? You know what I'm saying? Because somebody gonna come back and buy it later. If you buy, you just the owner of it. You pay your taxes and you make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do to uphold your land. Somebody gonna come back and want to build a strip mall or build a school or build this, and then they're gonna have to buy it. And you don't think you're gonna be able to run them numbers up and go out and buy 10 more of those and start all over?
Right. And I don't know how you feel about credit. Some people don't like credit cards or anything of that nature. But if you have credit, it's like Jay-Z's car. He was like, you want to know how all the Jewish people own all the property in America? Credit. That's how they did it.
So, for instance, I give y'all a key right now. One of my good friends, I won't release his name, business owner, a few pretty good businesses. You know what I mean? He swipes his Amex for 6 months at a time to pay for everything associated with his business. In that 6 months,
rich people don't use their money; they use other people's money.
In the 6 months, he makes the money to pay it all off at one time. After you do that for 2 years, they give you a bigger loan.
Right.
So now your business goes. It's crazy, but we are here in it. Man, look.
Credit is a liability and an asset. You got to make it an asset, though.
But you have to make it an asset. So the problem is, a lot of us, we start young and we butcher our credit, and then we're forever getting out of it. Mm-hmm. Be on the lookout. I say the next 4 to 6 weeks. I have some things brewing that I'm not announced yet. Mm-hmm. But financial literacy is important, and that will be coming to the people. But getting your financial planner is very important. Not being afraid to open up your books and really look at what you do, what you spend your money on, what you can improve on, where it can go. It's like when you look at, you know what I mean, you spend money. Let's say you drink coffee every day and you spend, let's say $20 a day on coffee. That's $140 a week. You know what I mean? What's that? $560 for the month. $560 a month on coffee?
I'm trying to tell you something.
I know you can go get 50 t-shirts pressed up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And sell all 50 of them for $20 and make you $1,000 off of $250 or $300. You know what I'm saying? The problem is we don't look at the small gains as gains. A win is a win. I don't care if it's $1 or $10,000. It's a win.
That is facts.
It's a win. How are you gonna position yourself for the win? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. For instance, like a lot of poets, because I get a game out, I give it to my youngins. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, we out here performing, people clapping, they cheering, yada, yada, yada. They encoring, they want to hear it again. They know the words to it. Why don't you take $40 and go print up 30 sheets of nice paper with an image on it? 15 of them, you sell them plain. No, let's say 10 of them, you sell them plain. 10 of them, you sign them. 10 of them, you sign and frame them. 10 of them, $10. 10 of them, $15. 10 of them, $20.
Come on.
You got, $200, $150, and $100. That's $450 off of $40.
That's real money right there. Yes.
If you write 15 poems a month, or if you write 10 poems a month and you perform it on a rate, you see how the cycle can start and you can really pass it on.
Right.
People not hustlers, yo.
Come on.
They wanted to come to them. You know what I mean? They want to perform and go stand at their table and everybody just flood their table. Right. It happens like that eventually. Yeah. Eventually.
Yeah.
I tell people, yo, like 2019 was a huge year for me. Huge year. Like,
Same.
huge year. You know what I mean? Probably one of the biggest years yet. But it was also my 10th year performing. It took 10 years to become an overnight success.
Brick by brick.
So for the new people who came in, they're like, oh man, this LB dude, he's It was 10 years. Blood, sweat, and tears. Open mics, traveling, no pay. You know what I mean?
Can't nobody take that away from you. Can't nobody take those experiences away from you.
Ever. But it made me who I am.
Yeah.
It made me comfortable on the stage so where I can look you in your eyes while I'm performing and still get my bar off and know that it punched you in your soul. You know what I mean? It's
punched you in the soul.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. It's a comfort that I didn't know that I would have ever reached. I'm comfortable with me. I'm comfortable with self in my skin. I can get my locks twisted or I can roster them out. I'm still gonna be comfortable because one thing I've learned, and for the people who are on a lock journey, you probably understand it, I hope. But it's like I walked into a room with the mayor, the sheriff, police chiefs. Mr. Poet, how's it going? You got a word for us? Can't wait to hear it. Our hair was nappy. I'm sitting up like, oh man, I look rough. People don't care. They see you for the light that you give off.
Right. Exactly.
Every
you
day
just being you. And I mean, just how you talk to, you present yourself, you know, that took 10 years. 10 years, brick by brick. And you're becoming, you know, how Michelle Obama got that book, Becoming Michelle. Becoming.
It's a journey. I desire to be the best version of myself. Every day. I'm better than I was yesterday. Every single day.
I love that. I think that is a perfect way to end the conversation.
Yeah.
Say it one more time for the people in the back.
I'm better than I was yesterday. It's in a poem. It's actually called Yesterday. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's my desires is to wake up better than I was yesterday.
LB, this has been so dope. I think I'm going to have to reschedule again because I didn't get through my questions.
You give me life every time.
I know.
Let's build. I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate what you do. It's power. It's power in these conversations. And again, like we can set it back up, like for everybody, because I really wanted to get into the comments and really chop it up. Because I see people been commenting, but it's so much. We got so much to discuss, especially topics like this.
We're gonna do it again.
Yeah, hey Brooke, you give me life, yo. I appreciate y'all. Word. If you don't take nothing else from this conversation, last thing from me. Every day is Wednesday. Write it on your mirror. Put it on your screensaver. Every day is WINSDAY. You win every single day that you're able to open your eyes and make the statement. Today is a win. Tomorrow when you wake up and you say, man, it's Wednesday. You won already.
You won already.
Bonuses. You know what I mean?
We won already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, this is Bliss Talk. You can find more dope, inspiring conversations like this one on my website, blisstalkshow.life. On the website, you'll see some of my very beginning conversations with some of the dopest individuals that we have in the community. By individuals, I mean leaders, people who speak life into other people, like yourself, Mr. LB the Poet. Follow me, cbliss_pics on Instagram, so you can keep up with who I'm going to have next on the show. LB, before you leave, can you please tell us where we can find you, if you got a website, other pages to follow? And while we're doing that, if you guys have a question, we can answer one more question if you guys want to leave one in the comment.
Any questions? But yeah, every social media platform you can find me at LB the Poet. I had somebody recently hit me back like it's LBDA Poet, right? And I'm like, nah, it's LB the Poet. any social media platform. And if you go to lbthepoet.com, it's always being updated with everything that I have going on. And you can also find links to everything. If you're on Linktree, check out my Linktree, LB the Poet. YouTube, look up LB the Poet wherever you can search it. I really would appreciate it if you guys went to all of your streaming platforms, wherever you listen to your music, and stream the album. It's entitled Transitions. It came out in November. And shoot me a message and let me know what you think. I reply to everything for the most part.
That's word. I didn't see any questions, so I guess that's it until next time. I got more questions for you, so we'll get T to reschedule us again.
Hey, I appreciate it, yo. Be blessed.
Hey, everybody be blessed. And thank y'all so much for coming in.
Love.
Bye.